I never actually saw the words go or you're live, so I could just be talking the nonsense. I'm just hanging out with the CAT StanLeey on the sun and chair. Kitty kitty meow meow. What up, meow? What up, meow? He got some time outside this morning, and it's so warm today, Salem, Oregon. So we're out in the evening. It's about 5:22 Pacific Standard Time. The OGs just came out. Don't step on nothing, CAT. We're grounding. We're spending time with Mother Nature. Mother Nature. So I had a lot of ideas today about things. I'm going to go over to my thinking chair. I had a lot of really neat ideas about stuff. I got to spend some time with my family. And I got to utilize Skype. The Skype. Kitty kitty meow meow. I have hair all over my face from the CAT. It's a nice Sunday evening. I hope it's nice wherever you are in the ethers. And see, the thing is, this time is so funny. I was talking about that with Mom today. It's like, time is such a funny, funny thing. Because when we scheduled the appointment to have the session, the conversation online, it was just a brief text conversation about, we'll just chat at 3. We'll hook up at 3. And then, so I'm looking at the clock, and on the clock, it said like that it was 3 on my Mac clock, but on the software, it was like 2:54. And then on my cell phone, it was 2:50, like 5 or 7. It was a different time altogether. So I'm like, gee, Mom, when he says 3, I wonder which 3 means, you know? And that's how people miscommunications and stuff happen like all the time. So I was like, so this is why it's important to always allow to for the ish, you know, and even at 3, because you know, and I was figuring, I even said to Mom before we started, I hope Helly's not crabby, wake up from crabby nap, because I don't wake up good sometimes, and she's a lot like me, so I was hoping she wasn't having that experience. She got and when he said text, because he said we'll text when we're ready, and and he said Ellie woke up crabby, and it's like, well, she'll loosen up, because she got to show us her dog and stuff like, ooh, this battery's hot, man. Woo, it's kind of warm under there. Technology is so weird right now. It's weird. Tech is like, you know, and then in IT for 10. So I got a lot of tech experience, you know, and I always know that none of it works how it's supposed to. You know, you have the rules, and the people that write the rules, the manuals and instructions, and their interpretations are different than the recipient who's receiving the rules or trying to interpret the rules. And so there's always a disconnect, because there's very I don't know. It's just and every time I go to an interface, it's different. Like, I had an interesting experience. I got an email from Sarah Lee Bangerang. Is that from Hook? Bangerang. That's got to be from Hook. Because I saw that, I just kept bangering from Hook. I love Robin Williams. See, I got that for him. Boop boop. Popeye. I hate canned spinach though. Freaking, it makes me want to throw up. Won't do it. Anyway, so this gal sent me an email message, and she said it was the 3rd time that she tried to email me, because on my homepage on the tube, I have my email address, straight people like rainbows2@gmail.com. Just makes me laugh. Makes me smile every time I say it. I never say. And she said this is the 3rd email that she sent, but there was a typo on the email address, and she drew it to my attention, and I'm like, that's really peculiar, because I updated that typo like 4 months ago. Somebody else drew it to my attention, and I updated it, and I looked it up today, and lo and behold, it was correct. So but there's not like one version of YouTube, you know? It's just different versions on different servers and you randomly get what you hit. And that's why there's, every time something breaks, they just roll stuff back. So think about all the data that gets dropped in the rollback, you know? I know they have algorithms to compensate for some of it, but stuff still gets slipped through the crack. I mean, I search for myself on YouTube and I can't find me a lot of times. I mean, so people find me. It's definitely a random thing. It's definitely we the same freak tribe. That's because I'm pretty obscure, you know? And what do? I talk about energy and being in alignment with your masculine and your feminine and your good and your evil. And, even if you do crap wrong, make it right by freaking admitting it and asking whoever you did it wrong to what you need to do to make it right. Just living like a freaking adult, decent human being. I don't know what kind of examples this nonsense is freaking going on. Birds are freaking verifying what I got to say right now because stuff that there's too many poor examples in the world. Too many. Too many poor examples. Gotta breathe through that one. So it was just so sweet to see Helle, 'cause she reminds me how to just be sweet, because there's a lot of times I was real sweet and then people took advantage of me. And I say they took advantage of me because I was ignorant and I was young. And I thought that love was supposed to be reciprocated. Because people always talked about unconditional love. And granted, I never got direct examples of it that would have impacted me in a more positive way. Nonetheless, I always got tough love. And then I grew up and then people wonder why I'm tough to love. And I'm like, what are you talking? I wanted to be that little sweet little girl that Helle gets to be. So in turn, I get to go with my inner child back with me, Sabrina, and be that sweet little girl with her. And so when she comes and visits, we get to freaking have, ice cream sundaes and watch YouTube videos in Espanol because I'm trying to learn. Yeah, I'm trying to learn so I can communicate in her native tongue. And mom's Spanish. I mean, her mom and her lineage is from Spain, and she's like 33%. Actually, she's more from Spain than 31% Native American. I think I might have a DNA test done, actually. Woo! If some of those theories are true, I bet I never get sick. I'm 45 and I look like I'm like, I don't know. Right now I got pudgy face because I kind of look like a sea monkey. Remember those on the back of comic books in the 70s and 80s? I don't mind. Oh no, don't get too excited. My mind pops out. That's cool because Helle, and that's the thing is, I think because I don't know, it never was around cousins and things like that. And so I've always witnessed and been around and been the spectator of people that were close knit in family. Like, and they can get twisted, and then it gets like a little weird and stuff like that. There's always balance. There's always balance, I dare say. That was cool. There's a video I shared on my Facebook page, Third Eye Activated. Third spelled with 3 eyes. I shot myself in the foot. Thought it was a clever endeavor, and I did a shot. They can't all be winners. See, you gotta have loser ideas. So when you get a real good one, you can go, gee, yeah, that's that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was Third Eye Activated. So I posted the link of this little like 8-minute video describing Heyoka. While Mom and I were waiting for Helle to wake up from her nap and stuff, I was showing this video to her, and I'd have to pause it and read it to her. But it was like, Mom, then I was like, read it, and I'm like, Mom, who does that sound like? She's like, you've done that your whole entire life. And I said, and I think it's funny because she had that test done. Mom was adopted. She was like 3. So she had that DNA test done at end of 2018. And so I mean, I never knew what nationality we were, and and to find out. And then actually, it was my ex girlfriend who said, "Sound like you're a Heyoka," and she drew it to my attention and down that path, and and that's cool. Um, I can appreciate her for that. And so we that's how I was introduced to Heyoka, and then mom had her, DNA test for Native America. And then you get the ones, that come on and go, only boys can be a Heyoka. I'm like, dude, tell me something I've never heard before. Tell me, if I had a freaking dollar for every time somebody freaking told me that I couldn't, that made that comparison. Oh wow. you know. But so that's a cute little Heyoka. That's a neat little. It's informative, not cute. It's an informative Heyoka video on what Heyoka do and represent. And I represent tried and true. And I am backwards and I am wonky. And I do just want to give people food for thought and things to think about. I don't care if people agree with me or not, because mostly most of the world I don't agree with. So I can understand why they don't agree with me. Because I'm all about giving to yourself and zero to do with profits and third quarter innings. And how discouraging is to get a letter from the VA that says, "Dear veterans and stakeholders." It just does not sit right with me. It just does. It's just the imbalance. But where everybody's calibrating, astrology's making everybody shimmy and shake and calibrate and wake up. And I want to do the right thing. I want to help people. I don't want to be a freaking greedy scumbag at the end of my life and think about all these things I did. I see, there was like a freaking art show in the city park down Bush Park in downtown, and I drove past it on Friday. I drove through it I had it's haircut day. And there's and the people that just shells of people, and I'm like, I bet they work. I bet he works for the state. I bet he works for the state. I was shells of people. I'm not saying, you could just tell where people are absent of spirit, void of spirit. And sometimes people saturate themselves with so much 3D crap, nonsense, stats, and figures that they have no concept. They have no spiritual concept that we are just spirits cruising around, hanging out as a human for about 80 years if you're lucky. Sometimes accidents happen and things fall short. So a lot of times people are, freaking waking up. That's what is so weird about this time, is that people are freaking waking up to these ideas and thoughts that have been long carried over, not since just they were just children, but where their spirits were the last time these planetary alignments happened 243 years ago. I very well was a Native American, fighting for my land, and seeing all of that nasty stuff. And it's coming back around. It's people have been putting people in cages for far too long. It's because they have a higher opinion of themselves and they think that they're above somebody and they have the right to do that, and they don't. Karma's coming around, and by the grace of God, America will never see bombs on U.S. soil, thank God. But at the same time, they have wreaked so much havoc in other countries. So right now, it's feeling what it's like with all the natural disasters. People are getting a taste of what it has to. You got to get up and get out. What do you love the most? That's what I experienced. That was some of mom's, I called them episodes. Every couple years, her brain would be like a stress bucket. It'd get a little too full, then she'd go into different timelines. I think there were timelines. She was never diagnosed. Or if there was a diagnosis, I was never informed. As far as I know, there's never a clinical diagnosis for her. But I've read a lot of stuff, and there's multiple personalities, schizophrenia, yada yada yada. Um, but the fact is, when people reach a certain amount of stress, their endocrine system freezes up, and it can shift them into states not of this dimension, because they were always after us. She'd wake us up in the middle of the night and they were after us. Well, there was a custody suit, and it was ugly. And there was one point that I had an aunt that came when my mom was at a doctor's office, and we were in the waiting room, and she showed up there and said, we're supposed to go with her. And I said, no, I gotta go say goodbye, Mom. She said, no, we'll see her when she's done at the doctor. And then we didn't see her for 9 months. So yeah, she had cause to fear for losing her children. Yep. Yeah. So when people hit fear, they go. So sometimes, and she was only 22, and I see 22, 23-year-olds these days, and they look like they're freaking 12. They look like they're 12. And that's why I'm adamant about like doing these videos and stuff like that, because I look at them and they are the meek that are going to inherit the earth. They are the meek. And we can't leave an earth to them that is fucking junk because of some old dudes' rich egos that can't get it up anymore, that are pissed about stuff. And their wives and kids don't listen to them, so they go to work and freaking make bombs and put men in prison for telling secrets, probably, and of course doing bad things. But I think mostly prisons are full of, and mental hospitals are full of people with a lot of the right ideas, and a lot of wrong people didn't want them to get it. But there's a storyline for everything, there ain't no way to ever determine if what I know is ever true or not. If it feels right, it's true to me. And I could see something tomorrow that changes my mind, to add to the good bucket, because I'm always looking at balance, man. I should be a Virgo, and I'm not. I should be all about Virgo's my opposite sign. But I'm always about balance and keeping even keel, because for too long I used all my energy giving and giving and giving and giving to people, and just giving and giving, and then I'd get hurt, and then I get resentful and mad because they didn't give it back, because I said that love was I thought love was a condition. Sup? Hey, I thought love was a condition, that people were supposed to give it back. And because my parents didn't do it how I thought that, that was comforting to me, so I grew up and I always got it where I always looked where I wasn't going to get it. Because that's what I knew. Till I had a dog, and then I learned about unconditional love in a bird, and animals, and nature, and lo and behold, here I am, all balanced and whole and whatnot. Welcome to my tube. Your subscribers show 333. Yeah, that's funny. I lost 3. I'm slow to get subscribers. That's so funny. That's why I'm like, I'm glad I don't do this for my ego, because it would really blow if I did. I got a lot of info on Heyoka. I do. Would be awesome if you could explain about more. I have done a few videos. Heyoka. It's like spelled 3 different ways. I've done a few about it. It's we ask the asses. So if somebody's being a jerk in the room, I will be a jerk to them how they're acting, and then it embarrasses them. I just teach people lessons. I'm a lesson teacher. I'm gonna teach them a lesson. Get off my lawn. No, really. Come on into the lawn. Have a seat. Just don't pick the flowers. Leave the flowers living. Look at the sun's freaking rad today. I just took a bunch of pictures. I'm gonna wrap this up. I just took a bunch of pictures. Really cool. I'm gonna upload them on SnapNax. I put up pictures on SnapNax on my Facebook site. At the Renaissance Fair yesterday. It's cool. And then I got to meet the juggler, hang out with him at dinner that night. Synchronicity. It's like one of the first pictures. I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. I think my buddy Saul knows him, and so I got a couple pictures. And then when I went back to meet Saul at dinner, he's like, oh, my buddy's the juggler's gonna join us, and there's a magician too. Magician from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Whoopee. So that was cool. So life just feels good today, and there's a nice breeze, and keeping Mom cool. And it was about 95. hanging out with the cat and whatnot, and I'm gonna go inside and watch some Veronica Mars. They released the 4th season on Hulu. That was pretty cool. Like weeks early. I'm only on season 2, so it don't impact me anyway. But I just hope some of you guys out there, if you find some joy. And I'm always careful about getting too excited about life because you gotta mind the dip. So. And I always see those poor suckers that get so excited about stuff. They meet someone, they just go over the edge. Because I was that poor sucker, and if I ain't careful, I'm gonna be that poor sucker again. I gotta be more pragmatic about things. But now I have a 90-day like dating rule and things like that. I believe in courting to get to know people and things like that. And I think more people got to know who they were hanging out with to see if they actually like who they're hanging out with, there'd be less population of the world and animosity between parents, feuding, because, well, you're the ones that had to just jump right in the sack, and there's your consequence. There you have it. So I don't know how that where that came from, but all right, I'm done. Hope y'all have any what time it is? Right evening, peace. StanLeey, kitty, kitty, meow, meow.